I don't know if anybody is here. Oh my gosh, my back. I'm getting old. Mm, Let's see if I can fix that. Can anybody hear me? I love when people show up, but they don't want you to know that they're here. So you can't confirm or deny if you can hear me. Can anybody hear me? My body. Hey, can you hear me okay? Okay, cool. I did a workout like a crazy lady last night, and I am struggling. Um, awesome. So I just wanted to come on and I am doing a series, if you haven't realized. Um, and I'm going to drop a link. Nobody has to come on, but I just realized that I released videos at the beginning, but then I never did anything where I could like tie up the division and then move on to the next division. Um, So, I wanted to come do this live and talk about tying up the NFC North and then moving on to the next division. So, I will be honest and say that I scheduled this last minute, and so I didn't think to invite the people that I interviewed until later. So, I don't know if they're going to be able to join or if not. Hey, her moments. Um, but anyways, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the Bears, the Packers, the Vikings, and the Lions. And also, I just wanted to see if anybody in the chat has like watched the series, um, to see like what your thoughts are. There's more episodes coming. I feel like a couple of people that are have been interviewed for the series are in the chat. So more to come. I will go through every single division. Yes, I'm that crazy that I talked to 32 people to go through every single division in the NFL. But yeah, I just wanted to come on live because I haven't in a long time. I've been recording, um, one of my friends and I are making fun of me and saying that I've been on voice rest because I've been talking to so many people, which is true. So yeah, I just wanted to do this and talk a little bit more about like my thoughts and my decisions. And my back is killing me. Jeez, getting old. Um, I think the Lions Packers gonna blow up, but Bills could be better than a lot of people think. Yeah, so I agree. So I will be honest and say, the hardest decision I made was between the Lions and the Packers. And I think that the Lions are a complete team. I think when I look on paper, I think the Lions have everything that you would want the Lions to have. One of the reasons why I think the Lions are a little bit more primed to win is because they retained all of their main coaches. And I think when you retain your coaches, I think that lets me know that your coaches believe in what's happening. So they want to stay put. I also think that they're just on this trajectory where they've almost kind of figured something out. And so I felt like the Lions have a little bit of an edge. It's kind of funny though, because when you talk sports, like just because I think the Lions have a little bit of an edge this year doesn't mean that the Packers aren't going to be good. It doesn't mean that the Packers, like if they won, it wouldn't shock me. I just think when I looked at the other thing is too, is I think the Packers have one of the harder schedules. And so that also went into my decision making is the Packers have a harder schedule than the Lions. Um, and so I was like, okay, if we're dealing with harder schedule, The Lions have more stability coaching, and I think the Lions on paper look really great. I'm going to go with the Lions. And then, the interesting thing about the Packers is the Jordan Love thing. Like, I think Jordan Love is great. I think he proved that he can be great. I just don't know if he will continue to get better. Like, I don't know if we saw Jordan Love peak or if we're seeing Jordan Love's trajectory grow. So I wasn't sure what we were going to get from Jordan Love. And so obviously if Jordan Love like plays amazing, um this year, that could change my opinion. But anyway, so that's why I have the Lions first. I think they're solid. I think they're a great team. I think on paper they have all the intangibles. I think last year they were very, very, very close. If the guy catches the ball on fourth down, I think they win that game. And so yeah, so that's why I picked the Lions. And then obviously the Packers, I think that they have potential, and I think that they are um they're close. So the other tricky thing for me was the Bears. So I think the Bears, because they have a rookie quarterback, the Bears are in this weird thing. And it's like, as an organization, I don't know if I don't know as an organization if we like all in on the Bears as a total organization. I think that we can all admit that they've always had an outstanding defense. I think that we can also admit that we just never know what we're going to get from them. And so that was kind of my hesitation with the Bears. I also will say that the Bears have one of the easier schedules in the NFL. So I was like, I think, and I think I said, I think that the NFC North will be a division where if there's a team where three teams make the playoffs, I think it will be the NFC North. Um, because I think that their division is that good. I think when I compare the NFC North division to any other divisions right now, I feel like the NFC North has the better division by far. So that is why I picked them. And then the Vikings, obviously, no disrespect to the Vikings. It's just sports, and somebody has to come in first and somebody has to come in last. And so that's why I have the Vikings where they're at. I also think, not I think, I did some research about the Vikings and their schedule as well. And they also have a tough schedule. So I base my decision just based off of what I think I know about the teams, what I think I'm seeing from the teams, what I heard each of the fans talk about in regards to their teams, and just my own like expert football knowledge and what I thought. So that's why I made the decision. So if you're watching this live or on the playback, just know that it's nothing personal. When you talk about sports, you have to make decisions, and so I made a decision, and so my decision was to put the Lions winning the division, and then the Packers, and then the Bears, and then the Vikings. So that was that. So yeah, so I just wanted to have like a quick live to just like come on and share my thoughts. It's kind of funny because I obviously know all the interviews, but I've been watching back all the interviews lately just to see like what division I'm going to drop first. And I realized that I was making that video at the beginning, and I'm kind of like teasing out the series of what divisions to come and like showing you who the people I talked to per the division. And then I realized that I have nothing to kind of say, okay, great, that decision is done. I like dropped these videos Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, a very strategic way. And then I didn't have a place where I could like talk about why. And so I just thought I would do a live and talk about why and leave this video up. I don't know if I will do lives for every single division, but I just felt like this is kind of like what I wanted to do for this one. So that is why I did this live. I also screwed this up royally because I actually should have invited the people that I talked to when I talked to them, or let them know at the end of the week I was going to go live, and picked a time that would have worked best for them. So maybe I'll do that as I move forward. But I didn't do that. So because I didn't do that, I'm here. And I'm just going to talk about this because I wanted to make sure I showed them some love. And if you haven't already, go check out those people that I interviewed. Check out their Twitters. Jason produces music. They're all amazing. They all lended their time to me when they didn't have to, and I appreciate them. And I hope that when you all watch the series, that like if you're a football fan, or even if you're not a football fan, if you just like to hear people talk about things that they're passionate about, I hope that you like enjoy the series. And I do already know, well, I kind of know what team I'm going to release on Monday. I had a thought and I was getting all their stuff ready. And then I thought I wanted to go like NFC and then AFC and then back to the NFC and then back to the AFC. So I have so many different thoughts, but I think I know what I'm going to release next. Um, We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. On Sunday, I will release a video that will tell you what division is going to be during the week. I keep changing my mind. It's also Gemini season. Shout out to the Geminis. So I can change my mind if I want to change my mind. So anyway, so that's kind of where I'm at. That's what's going on. That is why I scheduled this. I wanted to I wanted to put a pretty little bow on the NFC North and just show them some love and to show all the people that came on and talked to me some love. And for everybody that watched, show them some love. I know I got some interesting emails, and some interesting DMs after I released some of my videos. I also want to say that if you're watching this live or if you're going to watch the playback, if I did an interview with you and oh, thank you, David. Thank you. I appreciate that. I will, I don't know if it's, I don't know. I don't have an accent. I don't know if it's how I talk, but I'm happy that you like to hear me talk. So that's helpful. I will say also, so here's the thing. I have all the interviews and when I go back and watch the interviews, I obviously check sound quality. My sound quality has been so bad in some of them and some of them it's been good. But the other thing I've realized that I do is I also am watching film of myself. And so as I watch back these playbacks, I'm looking at, and I'm doing it now, I'm looking at like my hands and how I'm setting and if I'm too close to the mic or I'm too far from the mic. And I'm like analyzing myself, right? Because like I'm a former athlete. Like you go on camera, there's footage of yourself, you watch yourself and you analyze. So I've been analyzing me as I'm watching my playbacks because I just want to see like, do I look like a nut job? What does my hair look like, right? So the funny thing that started to happen though is as I started releasing videos, the people that I had interviewed for the videos and the people who have upcoming videos have been reaching out to me because so apparently we're all in the same boat and we are all rewatching our own videos of how we look and what we say and what we sound like. And so I just wanted to share that because I think it's funny because obviously this is my YouTube channel. So obviously I'm used to seeing myself on video. And the way that I've started to edit my videos is I've stopped trying to pay so much attention to like my posture and my body language and stuff like that. And I've just started like recording the actual video. So it's just funny to me that other people that have recorded are like, oh my God. And so just so you all know, like they have seen clips of themselves. I think everybody by now has seen a clip of themselves. If they have not, I need to go back and send them clips of themselves. But yeah, so this is all fun. This is all fun and games. I didn't expect everybody to be as critical of themselves as I am of myself, but here we are. I also just want to say, and I say this when it happens, but like, I want to give another shout out to all the women that came and talked to me about their team. I'm super excited for their episodes to release. I'm super excited for the women who trusted me to talk to them about their team and to not feel like this was like I was going to like interrogate them or whatever. So I just appreciate all the women that took part in what I was doing and the people that decided to show up. And so the episodes are great. I don't know if I will go live at the end of every week to discuss all of them, but I just wanted to show the NFC North some love. They were first. They were amazing. And yeah, I don't know if anybody has any questions. I'm literally just blabbing about whatever. But if anybody has any questions, let me know. I know when I go live, usually people don't like to come up here with me, which is fine. But if you want to come and talk to me, that's fine. You let me know. I'll drop the link and you can come talk to me. But again, I just wanted to give a shout out to all the people from NFC now, all the people from the NFC North, all the ladies who showed up and talked to me about their team. if I do NFC or if I release an AFC division next week, there will be one of the women will be in one of those episodes because I already know which AFC division I want to release. Um, I honestly like. I'm super excited to release the NFC East because I think that that's an interesting division. I'm also very interested in releasing the NFC West because I think it's going to be an interesting division. Um, but then also like the AFC East is interesting. Obviously, the Steelers are in the AFC North, so whatever. But hey, Stephanie. So yeah, so anyways, that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to start releasing these videos. Stephanie, I was telling them that I was on voice rest from all the interviews and all the different things that I was doing. I needed to go on voice rest to rest my voice so that I could talk to everybody and so that I could also still like continue to make my own content and like do my thing. So that is where I'm at, is trying to, just trying to do my thing. I will say, and I want to say this, like I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm going to say this. Later today, I do have a video coming out that I did put a trigger warning on it. And when it releases, you'll see in the title why there's a trigger warning. I just wanted to say, if you're watching this video live or if you watch it on the playback, please watch the video with the trigger warning if you can tolerate it. You will see in the title what it is about. So if you cannot tolerate it, do not watch the video. But if you see it and you feel like you can stomach it and you feel like you can listen to it, please watch the video because I feel like I'm always going to speak for women. I'm always going to speak up for women. I'm always going to be vulnerable when it comes to things that women experience. I'm always going to take a stand, and I'm always going to try to provide a voice where some people might not want to hear it, or some people might feel a certain way. But I decided to do it. I also shared a little bit of like my background and a little bit of my story, which again might trigger some people. So again, this is just like a live trigger warning to the video. And what I'll do too is after this live is over, I will make sure to pin the video at the end of this live so that as this ends, you can just kind of see what I'm talking about. So just side note, that video will release later today. So just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, so does anybody have any questions, anything else that we're talking about? I also just want to like pen this comment because I agree with it. And I just think that it's nice that I'm not the only person that feels exactly this way. So thank you, sir, for adding that. Because I 100% agree. So yeah, now that I just went from football to being triggered and vulnerable, and now I'll go back to football. Does anybody have anything they want to say? Any questions you want to ask me? I just realized I have little hooks in here for my little zip up, which is cool. It's also Friday. I thought yesterday was Friday. Today is Friday. So just FYI, if you didn't know what the day was and you needed me to tell you what the day was, today is Friday, May 24th. So FYI, just in case you needed to know. So yeah, so that's my thoughts. There's a lot of stuff happening right now. And yeah, I just wanted to come live. I just wanted to come live. I just wanted to start a live to talk a little bit about what I was doing and why I was doing it and my series, and that I don't know who's coming next. But yeah, if you're watching the series and you don't mind putting in the comments below, what team are you interested to see next? Like, is there any team that you're like waiting for me to release? Is there any team or any division that you're super interested to see, like what the fans thought about their division? Or I don't know. I know how I'm watching this because obviously I did it. And so I'm creating like the thumbnails and I'm rewatching them back and I'm clipping up the videos and I'm doing all this stuff. But I'm just curious to know, does anybody have any other thoughts on who they want to see next, or any teams that they're like actively waiting to see? Because I'm just curious. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts. Like I'm curious about like my division, but I just didn't know if anybody else had any other thoughts about what they were thinking. And why is my ponytail coming out? It's fine. I'm a mess. I don't care. I don't care. I sent somebody a message this morning, and I was like, "Hey, good morning. Like, haven't talked to you in a while. Hope you're well, or whatever." Because when I don't talk to people, I like randomly just send them like a, "Hey, hope you're good. Hope everything's fine. If you need anything, let me know," kind of thing. Um, and she responded back. She was like, "Oh, I'm good. Like, everything's fine." I was like, "Good." And she was like, "I just don't want to do this. I don't want to do that." And I was like, "Listen, all you have to do today is show up. Like, all you have to do is get up and show up. You don't have to be your best all the time, but like, just get up and show up." So in my mind, I keep telling myself the same thing. I'm like, "You're fine. You showed up. It's okay that you're a mess. It's okay that your back hurts. It's okay that your glutes are on fire because I worked them out really hard last night in the gym. It's okay that your hair is coming out. Like, it's fine. Everything is fine. You're totally fine." So, anyways, yeah. Now I'm just blabbing. But I am going to stay live for like another couple of minutes or so, just in case somebody has any questions or anything that anybody wants to ask me. I feel like lately, yeah, life is weird, but it's always weird for me this time of the year. If you know me, you know why it's weird this time of the year. But it's just always busy. I always have a ton of things going on, and I always don't know if I where I'm at or what I'm doing or what the day is or if it's today or tomorrow or what's on the schedule. And then it's a holiday weekend, so there's that. I have students graduating, so there's that. Yeah, the students that like, well, some of them are graduating. I need to finish grading. Um, but yeah, any other questions, comments, concerns, issues? Oh, I do want to mention that I have. Let me look it up right now. I have a couple, not a couple. I think I have one, two, three, four, five, six. I have six videos, maybe seven videos. I have 6 or 7 videos that I still haven't released where my hair is in braids. So you will see that content eventually. I also have a video that I have never released where I was in my blue hair. So at any point, if you start to see videos where my hair is no longer like this, listen, I hoard videos, just like I hoard pictures of myself, just like I hoard all kinds of I'm not a hoarder, but I do hoard videos and I do hoard pictures of myself. And I do so yeah, that's a fact. I do that. I'm a good secret keeper also, so maybe that has something to do with it. But anyways, again, just blabbing. So yeah, does anybody have any thoughts, anything you want to talk about, anything before I end the live? Why is this happening? Oh, okay. Got it. That is not happening for why I thought it was happening. So we're good there. Yeah, cool. Yeah. So I forgot. Um, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Um, so my goal is to be monetized by the time the football season starts. So based on that, I think that the first game of the season is August 29th, which is when Colorado plays North Dakota State. So I hope by then my channel will be monetized. So that's kind of my goal. So I'm setting a 3-month goal, not really 3 months. Wait, June, July, August. Yes, I'm setting a 3-month goal, a 3-month and 5-day goal to see if I can get my channel monetized in 3 months. So send me your thoughts and prayers because I need them. But also, if you haven't already, take time one day to go through all of my old videos and just let them play. Just let them play in the background. Just actually, you don't have to let them play in the background. If you want to hear what the hell I'm talking about, and if you want to see if you completely disagree with me or if you agree with me, yeah, you can go back and like watch all of those old videos that I have of my terrible angles, of my terrible lighting. Some of them have terrible sound. Some of them, my hair looks absolutely atrocious, although this hair doesn't look any better. But yeah, so it's been interesting to like be on this journey and have all these different videos. I will say though, that one video, I haven't released it yet. It's about my educational journey. So a lot of people have asked about my education, what kind of education I have, what kind of degrees I have, what kind of this, what kind of that. I made a video that's talking about my education, so I will release that at some point. Also, in August, it will be 9 years of me having my PhD. That's wild. I'm getting old. Okay. So just don't call me old. All right. Leave me alone. Everything's fine. Leave me alone. That's probably why my back hurts. That's probably why I had to roll out of bed this morning. And that's probably why I need to really start um stretching for an additional 5 minutes or so. So, anyways, it's funny. The caption of this video is like NFC North prediction, and here I am talking about myself. So there's that. Yeah. Anybody have anything you want to ask me? I see there's like there. I don't know how many people are in here. Oh wait, there he goes. So does anybody have any questions they want to ask me while I'm here? If you're watching this on the playback, thank you for watching this on the playback. If you have any questions on the playback, I try to do my hardest at responding to people that comment. I will say that anytime it's like 20 comments or less, I can usually get to everybody. But anytime there's more comments than that, there are so many people, and it's hard for me to get back to you. So if you've written me a comment and I didn't get back to you, sorry, that was not my intention. I even try to respond to people that like don't understand me. My oldest just received her PhD. Congratulations to her. That's amazing. That's a huge feat. In my video, I tried to explain what what degrees I have, how I got them, what it means and stuff like that. Because I realized like a lot of people, I was a lot of people that didn't really understand it until I went through it. So I made the video. Maybe it'll help somebody. Maybe it won't. I'm just here to try to help and give out information. If you like the information, great. And if you don't like the information, don't use it. It's that simple. But yeah, I think it's titled My Education Journey. I don't know. I'll have to go find it. But so yeah, that will be out. So if you have been somebody that has asked me about my degrees, my education, my this, by that, I have it in that video. So I got that question a lot. And then I recorded another like video about the Colorado fan base like months ago, not months ago, probably was a month ago. And I just never released it. So I'll release that eventually. So yeah, I just have a lot of things that I haven't released. So like I said, just pay attention to the hair. If you notice when my hair changes and goes and comes and goes, like that's what's happening there. How are you, Jen J? How do you feel about your Vikings? I think your Vikings will be fine eventually. I just don't know if this is their year. But they'll figure it out. David, what did your daughter get her PhD in? Did my voice just go out there? That was weird. Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I think that's a good emoji. That's a good emoji. It's a pretty good emoji. The goal is to get better. And if they get better, and if JJ McCarthy does end up being good, then I think they'll be fine. Social work. Got it. Okay. I love that. I love when people like graduate college or even graduate high school or even just achieve something that they like had to work so hard for and take time and do all the things. Like it's so amazing. For me, there's no greater joy than seeing people achieve things and to be happy and to like do the thing that they've been working so hard to do and then they finally make it. Like I love that. So congratulations to your oldest. I said daughter, I just assumed, but congratulations to your oldest child on receiving their PhD. I think that's amazing. And he or she will have to be like me. So when I got my PhD for about 2 weeks, I made everybody call me doctor. I was like, no longer speak to me unless you say Dr. So-and-so. Like that was my thing. And so I did it for about 2 weeks. And then I started to like I started to kind of like get bored of it. And so then I just went back to my real name. But for 2 weeks solid, I was like, if you want to address me, you will address me as Dr. Whatever. And I didn't care what they called me. Like you could have called me like Dr. Annoying, Doctor, whatever you called me, I didn't care. But I was just like, whatever you do, you will call me doctor. Um, and so that's what I did. That's what I call her, Dr. Dev. Exactly. That's like I made them do it for like 2 weeks. Even when people would text me and they would just say something. I would be like, excuse me, like how are you supposed to? That's not how you address me now. It's kind of funny. And now I like rarely, um, I rarely pull that card. Like I rarely say, um, that I like rarely I'm like, call me Dr. So and so. But if I do, that means I am triggered. 2 weeks. It's been about 10 years for my PhD. So that's awesome. That's awesome. I love school. I love learning. Obviously, that's why I do the videos the way I do because I'm like, I want to talk about this, and then I like go research them, and then I'm like, ooh, somebody else is saying what I'm saying. Let me clip what they're saying and put it in my video. Let me clip what they're saying and put it in my video. So I always say like having my YouTube channel, it's almost like I get a mini dissertation every time I put a video together. Well, not every time. Yeah, every time I put a video together, it's like I try to like find things that match what I'm saying to kind of like piece it together because I think so many times like people just must call her Dr. Dresses. Exactly. Yeah. Like that's it. I get it. I get it. And I pull out my doctor card whenever people are annoying me. Whenever like and then whenever I'm being petty, quite frankly, whenever I'm being petty, I'm like, if you want to say that, then call me doctor, whatever. So um but yeah, so my videos are like mini dissertations. um to be honest, that's not giving dissertations like they're due. They're just due because that shit is hard. But like how I'm putting like I actually build it very similar to how I would like write a paper or how I would go to present information. So it's always funny to me to like know my process of like I write down the topics that I want to talk about and then I set with the topics. And then once I see the topic show up again, I'm like, okay, I have thoughts about this. And then the funny thing is, then I go record the video. So I actually record the video when I have the thoughts. So usually my videos are in real time, probably 20 minutes or so, where I'm just talking to the camera and I'm stating my points and I'm going through it, I'm going through it, I'm going through it. And then when my video is over and I've recorded it and I feel like I got all of my thoughts out, I then will go research and I then will go see if I can actually make my points. A lot of stuff, obviously, if it's like sports related or different things like that, and it's not like a new topic to me, I know I'm going to have something to back my opinion because it's my opinion because I've either seen it or I've heard it or whatever. So yeah, so that's how I kind of do this. So anytime you see a video that's like really long, it's because it's really long. But if you also see a video that's like 10 minutes or 7 minutes, just know I cut a lot of that out. Or sometimes I get to just rambling and so I'll cut out the ramble, but the funny thing is I see the ramble and then the rambling also lets me know that I have another topic for another video. So that is what goes on into my crazy brain. And that's why I always say it's like getting a PhD, because getting a PhD is all about a shit ton of reading, a shit ton of writing, a hell of a lot of listening, a ton of learning, and a ton of doing things that you don't think you're capable of, but you just keep kind of like pushing yourself and you keep pushing yourself. And then you finish. And so that's why for me, that's what it's like when I'm like making videos and like making content. That's a major accomplishment. Y'all deserve to be called doctor. Thank you. Yeah, I do. I agree. I just think that sometimes, like in a social setting, when you like everyone's like, oh, da, 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 and then you're like, yeah, call me doctor. It's kind of like, okay. But like I said, that's why it's like my petty card. I'm like, if I want to be petty, I will say that. I don't say it often, but I do say it sometimes. Um, So that's the thing. When I look for new content creators of sports news, the first thing I ask is, did they back up their claim? Where do they stand and how they, because yeah, that's it. That's me too. And that's why it's like I want to be that consistent because it's true. And it's like, I feel like, so first of all, I'm going to say this, and like, I'm sure if you're listening to this, you'll get what I'm saying. Data and information is not the same thing. And sometimes I think we take data as information, and data is data. Data is like raw stuff. It's just giving you things. Information is putting the data together and making it make sense. So when a lot of people see data, they just assume the data means one thing. So if the data says this, then that has to be it. But it's like the data is just giving you a talking point, or the data is just giving you a starting point. Once you get the starting point, it's up to you to take the data and make it make sense and make it be information that you're trying to share out. And so I always tell people data and information are not the same. So when somebody says, the data says this, the data says that, I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean to you? Tell me, you said the data says this. Amazing. So then how are we putting that in context? We have to go from A, which is data, to B, to make it something. Data is not anything if you don't tell a story with it. So now I'm on my soapbox. Sorry. I feel like I'm like talking to my students, and I'm like, no, you cannot. Critical thinking is critical thinking is not one sentence, because I often say that to my students. But yes, my college students, I have to tell them what critical thinking is. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I get paid to do that. So that's why for me, when I see data, I don't say that that is it. I see data and I'm thinking, okay, what is the story I can now tell from the data? Because the data doesn't tell the story. So that's why I think I've said sometimes when somebody comes up and they're like, oh, based on the statistics, based on that, but you cannot make an informed decision just based on that. You have to have other things. So, yes. So that's why I'm saying that it's not the same thing. And if you're listening to this on live or on the playback and you're like, what the hell is she talking about? Like, data is information. Actually, Google it. Actually take the time to Google it. Don't believe me. You don't have to believe me. I don't make content to say that you have to believe me. I make content to give information based on data that I found. And so, like, it's not the same. It's two different things. So I'll leave it there. But just remember that, like, if you see data, like, take the data and do something with it. When you do something with it, that is information. Until you do something with data, it is just data, period. Just data. That's it. I will stop talking about it. I will let it go. um, any other questions? Now that I've like gone off on a tangent on what data is and isn't. I can do the same with critical thinking, because a lot of people think that just because you have a thought, that that is a critical thought. Critical thinking is actually thinking beyond that. It's actually being critical of the way you're thinking. So if I think that my back hurts because I worked out hard last night, that's great, whatever. But that's not being critical of what I'm saying. That is a thought. Now I need to be critical. So me being critical is, what else did I do yesterday? What exercises did I do yesterday? How did I sleep? Am I getting old? All the different aspects of that. And then when I formulate an opinion, then that is giving critical thinking. And I might clip this and share this with my students, because right now people are turning in finals and they're not using their critical thinking skills. So I might clip that and share it with them. Are you saying I can't list the top QB? Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's a really great point. That, it's tricky how that happens. It's tricky. It's very tricky. And I get it. I think the other thing that's also interesting to me is sports. Oh gosh, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but here I am. The way people think about sports is a crash test. And I will, you know what? I won't even do this. I will let you decide, the audience. Just listen to how people talk about things. You have to, in order to be critical, you have to critically think on something. You can't just say, this is going to happen because of this. You have to think about all the things, all of the things, not just this thing, not just this thing, not just this thing, not just that, all the things: environment, team, structure, coach, weapons, dynamics, all of the things. You have to think about all of it to have a critical thought. So if you don't have a critical thought, I don't know what to tell you. But I know in life, we actually aren't taught to critically think, unfortunately. So that's the other thing. I also, since I'm here, hell, I'm already on the tangent. Also, comprehension is very important. Comprehension is a listening tool. And if you are not listening to comprehend, instead you are listening to respond, you are actually not listening. That is not, you're not listening. So that's it. I'll stop talking about this. I also just want to say, before I end this, I do have a video. I'll probably release it tomorrow. That is talking about, I'm sorry, wait, I just got, okay, no, this isn't for that. I just got a, oh wow, I was just going to tell you what the email is about, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I recorded a video about my Colorado football concerns. So I recorded a video. I don't remember when I recorded a video, but it was a couple of days ago because I don't think my nails were painted. Were my nails painted when I recorded that video? I don't think my nails were painted. So that lets you know that I recorded it a few days ago. And I talked about my concerns for the Colorado Buffalo team this year. Want to know why I talked about my concerns? Because I'm being critical. I'm critically thinking of some of the things that I'm seeing, and I have some concerns. So that will probably release tomorrow. Most people won't hear the message. Most people won't be critical, or most people won't critically reflect on what I'm saying. They will just hear what I'm saying and hear that I have concerns, and it will be negative and blah, 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 which, whatever. So yeah, so that's happening. So I'm really good on going on soapboxes and going on my own tangents. That makes you a troll and a hater. There it is. There it is. There it is. And I know that you're just kidding. But I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, I'm going to say what I want to say, and I can have concerns. And if the same way that I can make a video about concerns for my Steelers, the same way that I can be on the Texas Longhorns for their secondary play and the concerns I had on the defensive line before they got defensive linemen in, like, I can be critical of everything. I can be critical of myself also. Okay. Like why my jacket keeps coming off my shoulders and all this stuff. Like that's how it is in my life, in my world, the way that I function, the way that I live. I'm critical. I need feedback. I need people to talk about the opposite end. I need people to be honest with me. I need people to actually tell me what they're seeing. That's how I live my life. I live my life based off feedback, based off honesty, based off consistency. So I'm not going to be any different when I make content, and I'm not going to like you, and I'm not going to be like, oh, I like this. 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 No, I'm not like that with myself. Why would I be like that with anything else? Like everything isn't good. Everything isn't great. It just isn't. So I'm not going to act like it is. So I'm going to talk about it. So I'm going to release that video tomorrow about my Colorado Buffalo football concerns. I already said this, but I'll release the trigger warning video here. I think it's supposed to release. I think it's supposed to release at 1 o'clock my time or 3 o'clock my time. I don't freaking know. I don't know. But yeah, this is just what I am. This is me. This is I always say like I'm also a tough love type of person. I I like tough love. I'm not going to pat you on the back when you're doing something you're supposed to do. I'll tell you good job. I'll tell you thank you. I'll tell you I appreciate you because I do. But I'm not going to give you a standing ovation for doing something you're supposed to do. I'm just not. And I don't give myself a standing ovation for doing things I'm supposed to do either. So why would I do that to somebody else? I'm not going to. So if you need that, if you're looking for like support with everything and just love even when it's bad, you're at the wrong place. Because if it's bad, it's bad. Just is what it is. So yeah, so I'll release that video tomorrow. I'll be the troll, I'll be the hater. Just jump in my comments and to let me know that I'm a troll and a hater. Let me know that I'm a troll and a hater while you're secretly agreeing with every single thing that I have. And while you're secretly agreeing with my concerns that I outlined. Because I have concerns. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. Anybody else? I keep saying this. Her moments, you're laughing. Here's the thing. If we're being honest, we actually should all have the same concerns. If we're looking at this objectively, we should all have the same concerns. And so yeah, I'm going to share my concerns, and it's going to be what it's going to be. And I don't care who doesn't like it because it's going live tomorrow. And if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it, but it will be live tomorrow. So yeah, anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything you want me to answer, or just any questions that you have for me? I don't know if anybody has any questions for me. I would love to answer them if you have any. I need to respond to the student real fast. There is an announcement on Okay, cool. Thank you. Sorry if you could hear me typing, but I needed to respond back to them. Anybody have any questions I can answer? I will give you 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and I will end this at exactly 50 minutes because lately I've been into like round numbers. I don't know. I get into weird things, but yeah. Any other questions? Anybody else want to laugh at me? Here goes my voice doing the cracky thing. This is why I was on voice rest. How's your CU? My goodness. Has your CU prediction changed? I'm still at 7-5, but I no longer have a pulse on who I think they're going to lose to. Like, I don't think I said this in the video, but I'll say it here. I think Colorado is going to have an up and down season. I think some things are going to happen. Like, I don't think they're going to blow out North Dakota State. I think they have potential to lose to them. Don't know if they will or won't, but I think that there's the potential. I think it's going to be a close game, though, because I think whenever you have a new team, literally a new team, the only people that have played offense that are still on the team is Shador, Travis Hunter, and Miller. I think those are the only 3 people, and Jimmy Horn. Those are the only 4 people that are like have been on the team. So you're starting new. This is new. This is totally new. And you have a freshman left tackle. That makes me nervous. So I think I could see them struggling with North Dakota State. Do I think they're going to lose to North Dakota State? I've been jokingly saying North Dakota State by 10. But I don't know. I don't know. But then I think then the next game you play Nebraska. So it's like you don't even get a reprieve in a way. There's, in my opinion, when I'm looking at the schedule, I don't see a place where you can like take a deep breath. This is similar to when I made my Steelers video. Like my Steelers have this like schedule where it's like there's not really a place where you can really take a deep breath unless you're on a bye week. I feel like the same thing's happening in Colorado. So you have North Dakota State, who, whatever, and then you have Nebraska. That's going to be tough. And it's going to be week 2. And so if your offensive line does well, if your offensive line does well against North Dakota State, and your running game gets going against North Dakota State, and you look good against North Dakota State, I think that helps you with Nebraska. But Nebraska looks good. So they look good. So then you have Colorado State. That's like a rival. And then you bring in Nebraska, and then you bring in Baylor. And listen, and I said this in the video, I know that we're like, oh, Baylor's a win. Baylor's a win for sure. Like, mark it, book it. Like, let's mark that as a win. Baylor has some interesting things going on right now. And I'm not sitting here saying, that I think that I think Baylor's going to beat Colorado, but I do think that listen, Baylor does this weird thing where they're up and they're down, and then they're up and then they're down, and they've been down for a while. So at some point they have to come up. And I really like the fact that they hired Gary Patterson. I think Gary Patterson was responsible for getting Sark and the University of Texas kind of aligned and in order and a little bit stable and a little bit consistent. So there's Baylor, and then Kansas State, and then we don't know if we can stop the run. Like, we just don't know. So I think that we're going to have one of those seasons where it's like, this is what I think. I think we're going to have one of those seasons where it's just going to be off and on. I don't know if we're going to be the pillar of consistency or if we're going to be like a streaky team. I feel like we're going to kind of be streaky. I think some days you're going to look at us and go like, oh my gosh, did you see the first quarter they played? And then I think the second quarter is going to start and you're going to be like, what happened? Like, what happened there? So I feel like that's what happens when you're trying to like build chemistry and build camaraderie and learn people and do new things. And the other thing I just want to say, we have so many new coaches. I mean, we have a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator, a new offensive line coach, a new this, a new that. Like, we have everything new. And so that worries me a little bit. So yeah, I do have concerns. I just don't know who I think they're going to win. I don't know who I think they're going to beat and who I think they're going to lose to. That's why I'm not coming off of my prediction, because I can't. If I came off of my prediction, I don't know how I would slot it. So that's my other thing. I just want to say this before I end this live, and I'll say it and I'll wait because I know that I'm a little bit ahead of what you all can hear. I've been researching Cincinnati Bearcats because obviously, like, as Colorado fans, we're like, oh, that's a game we should win. Their strength is their defensive line. So the Cincinnati football team that we are going to play during the season, their strength is their defensive line. So if our offensive line does not have it together, when we play a team that has a great defensive line, I don't know. I'm like, Cincinnati has a guy on their defensive line that they're saying could go first round. Let me repeat that. The Cincinnati Bearcats. Are they the Bearcats? Are they the Bearcats? Did I just make that up? Hey, Sir Ken, how are you? Yes. The Cincinnati Bearcats, Google it. Go do your own research. Go do your own research. The Cincinnati Bearcats has a defensive lineman that people are saying could be drafted number 1 in the first round in the NFL. They have a potential first rounder on their defensive line. Cincinnati does. Now, I don't have to tell you what team we played last year that had a potential first round draft pick on their defensive line. I don't have to tell you. You know. So that's all I'm saying. is like, that's why it's just like, I mean, I know, Colorado's getting better, blah, blah, blah. But that's just where I'm at. And I just want to, the whole like Colorado's getting better thing. I also want to say that I do think that Colorado is a better football team than they were last year. I've given this analogy to other people, so I'm just going to also give it here. Um, okay, Colorado, let's say they were a 4 last year, like total team, and I'm giving them a 4 because they were 4-8. So let's say as a team last year, they were 4-8. They were 4-8, so they were a 4. So if I rank the team, I'm going to give them a 4. Okay. Let's say that based on what they got and how the team is better, I would now rate them a 6. Let's say they went from a 4 to a 6, because I think I would be delusional to think that you go from a 4 to a 10. Like, that doesn't happen anywhere in life where you go from a 4 to a 10 immediately. It takes time. So let's just say that right now, before summer happens, before the season starts, that Colorado is starting at a 6. So they are better than they were last year. I will give them that. I think the people that they have brought in are better than they had last year. I will give them that. Here's my problem. If they are better than they were last year, the teams last year were already better than Colorado. So Kansas State, Kansas, Oklahoma State, UCF, those teams, depending on who you ask, you could say Nebraska. My point is, those teams were already better than CU. So CU is now at a 6 because they've moved from being a 4 to now a 6 based on their talent. So these other teams, though, started at like being a 7. Or these other teams started at being a 6. Or these other teams started at being an 8. So these other teams have already started at a certain point. So if you're telling me CU got 2 points better, which makes them a 6, and I'm telling you somebody else got 1 point better, but they were already an 8, they are now a 9, and they're a 9, and Colorado is a 6. So there's a 3-point differential there. And if that is the case, then that means that yes, Colorado could have gotten better. And also, these other teams are still better than them, because two things can be true when you're using critical thinking. So critical thinking tells me that yes, Colorado has improved, because I believe that they have improved. The other part of that is also telling me these other teams have also improved. UCF has gotten better than they were last year, and last year they were good. Kansas State has gotten better than they were last year, and last year they were good. So that's why I'm like, you can say Colorado has gotten better, which they have, and you can also say they might not still be as good as these other teams just based off history. Because when you look at sports, you have to look at history. And if you're watching sports and if you're consuming sports and if you're not taking into account people's history, when you talk about sports, stop talking sports, because you don't know what you're talking about. If you are not looking at people's history to dictate their future, what are you doing? Why are you even talking? Like, there's no point. You have to look at a team's history and figure out where they've been to kind of figure out where they're trying to get to. So that's why I say, yes, Colorado has gotten better. If they were a 4 last year, with their talent this year, they're now a 6. They're now better than they were last year. Cool. I'll give them that. That's amazing. Also, the other teams they're playing were already better than them, and they've gotten better as well. So that's why I'm like, I don't know where to call it, because just because a team gets better doesn't mean they're going to win. It just means they got better, but they're also going against harder competition. So that's why for me, I'm like, I don't know where to put them, but I have some concerns. And I think it's going to be one of those weird years. I think I don't want to say we're going to see a Stanford season, because Stanford game, like that was a joke. But I do feel like our season's going to kind of be like the Arizona game. I think it's going to kind of be like Arizona. I think it's going to be like high points and low points. Like, I think that's how the season is going to play out. because that's what history of football tells me. And that's what my experience of being a part of the Big 12, because I'm a Texas fan and seeing what the Big 12 has done, that is why I think that. So my opinions are based off the history of Colorado and how from last year to this year, because you have to compare last year to this year to make a point. And then looking at the competition they're going to play. The competition they are going to play don't have new things like CU does. They're consistent and they all won last year. So they're not the same as CU. CU has to come and prove themselves. So that is how I feel about it. That is my 2 cents and I'm letting it go. Let's see. People want to see CU do what TCU done and then not make a bowl game the following year. That's the thing. And that's, you're right. Like, I'm listening that 100%. You're 100% right. I don't even have anything to say. You're 100% right. Just because a team got better doesn't mean that's it. That's it. And I can also say they did get better. They did get better. 100% they got better. Getting better doesn't translate to wins. You want to know something? I also have gotten better in the gym. I also can do more burpees. I also can squat a little bit more. I also can jump rope a little bit longer. I also can do all of these things. I can. But if I go and work out with somebody who is a CrossFit person, they're going to outwork me. They're going to. But it doesn't mean that I didn't get better. It just means that they are already better. So that's why it's like, it's different. It's different. Or I could say, same with just like random person working out. Like, I don't run a lot. That's not what I do. When I work out, I don't run because I don't want to lose weight. I want to lose weight, but I want to tone my weight because I want to be thick and I want to be sexy, right? That's my thing. So if that's the case, just because I work out every day and I'm doing certain things to build certain muscles and to build certain parts of myself, doesn't mean that I can go run as far as somebody else that runs all the time. That's not the same thing. So again, Colorado is where they're at. It's fine. They're where they're at. But I just want us to think about the competition that we're going to play. And I also know that for some reason, it is so hard for us to think about the competition when we're playing. We're only want to think about like what we're doing. We don't want to talk about the competition. I will never understand that. Well, I do understand it because if you look at the competition, then your arguments might not be as valid. So it's almost like a self-fulfilling thing that you're not even going to go there because you don't want to, whatever. But we really need to start looking at the competition and we really need to start seeing like what's going on. And like I said, I made the video because I have concerns, because I have valid concerns that I've actually been hoping that they would fix, that they did not fix, in my opinion, in certain situations. And I think I said this in the video, but like, we had people leaving that we didn't expect to leave. That's not great. So anyways, that's how I feel. And then I just want to say this because I feel like, I will be honest, I haven't consumed a ton of Colorado content over the past like 2.5 weeks or 2 weeks that I've been interviewing for my NFL series. So I'm not kind of in the loop of everything that every single person has said and on every channel. Like I'm just not, because I haven't been listening. But I do know that one thing that used to come up, and I have no reason to think that it's not still coming up now, is that people always want to combat the CU struggle with saying, yeah, but you don't know who's on the other teams. Yeah, but you don't know what the other teams can do. Yeah, name me somebody on the other team. Here's the thing. I, really flawed, know what the other teams can do. I do know what the other teams are capable of. I do have the experience where I have watched Kansas State. I've watched Baylor. I've watched Oklahoma State. I've watched it. I've watched them play against my team. So I do have the experience of watching it. I do know those teams. So that argument is so flawed and so crazy as hell that it's weird to me that people are even making the argument, because it's not an argument. It's actually intellectually dishonest to try to say something when you're talking about a competition, but you're only talking about one side of the competition, not the other side of the competition. That's not how sports works. So if you're doing that, like, please stop. It's also embarrassing because it's like you don't even know what you're talking about. You're only talking about one side of the coin. That's weird. That's how you talk sports. Having watched a team build to a national championship, I see where CU's headed. The players have to bond. That's it. That's it. That's how I feel too. Like, and that's why I'm like, I think they got better. I think they did some things they needed to do. I think they're doing a great job in doing what they need to do. And it is a process. It is a process. And it's a process. If you it's fine. It's also fine that it's a process. It's also fine. I also think it's interesting that I feel like what's happening though is the rush for them to be great is coming from the fact that Shador's here and the fact that this is Travis's last year and the fact that this is Shiloh's last year. And while I understand the need for it to work this year, I think that when you build a foundation, the foundation isn't for the moment. You're building the foundation for the future. And if Travis, Shador, and Shiloh are the start of building a foundation, and then when they're gone, CU's trajectory starts to take off, then they have done their jobs. I think we need to stop assuming that Shador, Travis, and Shiloh have to bring Coach Prime a national championship for this to be a success. That's not what success should look like. Success should be building up on a foundation and getting better and better. And so at the end of the year, if we're having a conversation and they were 7-5 or 6-6 or 8-4, 8-4 is a stretch. But if they were, then they will have done their job because they're building. Because then the next year, the next set of guys that comes in takes it to the next level. That's how this works. That's to be quite frank, that's how life works. Like, that's how working out works. That's how everything works. You start and you kind of figure it out and it's not great and it's not pretty and you're tired and you're exhausted and your body's not changing and you feel like, I just worked my ass off. Why did I not lose 30 pounds? And you don't lose 30 pounds that day, but you keep going. And over time, it starts to get better and you start to get better. And so I just want us to like manage our expectations a little bit. I don't think they have to win a national championship this year to be successful. I think they need to win more games than they lose this year. If Colorado wins more games than they lose this year, this will be a successful season because they will have built a foundation. And I also believe if they're able to do that, I think they will get more recruits. I think more people will show up. I think they will be seen as a place that's on an upward trajectory. And that's what you want to see. Upward trajectory, getting better, improving, continuously improving, because that will mean they have went from the 4-8 team to a winning season, and to now they will continue to get better. So yes, if Colorado wins more games than they lose this year, they're good. Even if they're 6-6, I think that to me, that will be a success because like I said, they're working and they're becoming something that they want to be. I wish as a world, we realize that. You don't just wake up one morning and go buy a house. You don't just wake up one morning and go buy a car. You don't just wake up one morning and go get married. You don't just wake up one morning and have a six-pack. You don't just wake up. Like, life takes time. It's a process. And so I think they're doing everything they're supposed to do. And I think seeing positive momentum puts them on the trajectory that they want to be on. And I think that puts them in a category where they want to be, where they're moving upwards and they're trending up. and they'll be fine, because are they going to get another Shador? Probably not. Shador. But that doesn't mean somebody else out there can't play quarterback really well. Are they going to get another Travis Hunter? Probably not. But that doesn't mean somebody else out there cannot play offense as that can fill Travis Hunter's spot, and that can play defense that can fill Travis Hunter's spot. Like you can't replace certain players. You'll never be able to replace certain players. But what you do is you try to replace them with other people that could have their potential of giving you what you need. Similar to the NFL. The Rams are not going to replace Aaron Donald. You can't replace Aaron Donald. They're not going to replace him. You can't. The Eagles are not going to replace Fletcher Cox. You can't. You can't just like replace him. That's not how this works. It's like by committee. Like they can't just replace Travis Kelce. Like he played center. Like he was the center. You don't just replace these guys. You find a guy that can fit in, that can do the job well. And that's okay, because everybody on the team isn't amazing. Some people just come in and they just do the job. And they just, Kansas City didn't replace Tyreek Hill. They didn't say, you're the new Tyreek Hill. No, they replaced him by committee. And that's all I'm saying, is just because Colorado loses Travis and Shador and Shiloh, whoever else you want to throw in there, that doesn't mean they're going to be bad because they lost those guys. It means they're going to replace those guys. Like, I just think that like we get in these like, we just start thinking like so tunnel vision, so this, and it's like football has existed before Shador and Travis, and football will exist after Shador and Travis. And that is not a knock on them. It's just saying there are other athletes that can come and perform and that can give you wins and that can be amazing. They're not the only people. That's all I'm saying. So now I've just gotten this like whole soapbox about this, but that's how I feel. I was only going to be on for 30 minutes, and here I am an hour and 11 minutes. So I'm going to stop talking. If you're watching this live, thank you. I appreciate you. If you've added a comment, I appreciate you. I'll say it again. I'm super excited for the NFL series to release. I'm super excited for you all just to like hear other fans talk about their teams. And I'm also super excited because it's fun for me to also release them. And then when it releases, I actually go back and watch it. I'm probably the first view every time because it goes live and I like click it and I watch the playback as if I haven't already seen it 2 or 3 times. So it's just fun for me. So if you're watching that, I appreciate you. Thank you. If you're watching this on the playback, I put all the information in the comment section. If you want to see any of the videos, obviously they're all on my channel. And so next week, I don't know what I'm going to start or what division, but it's going to be a different division. And I just want to say, when I started working out, I had a double chin. Now I don't have a double chin. I'm actually having to pinch. Anyways, sorry. Here's me critiquing myself on film, live and in the flesh. So anyways, if you haven't watched any of the series, go watch the series. If you enjoy football, all things football, you will love them. And again, what isn't fun about talking to fans about their teams? The other thing I just want to say is if you haven't already, take some time to go watch some of my older videos. I have a goal. August is my goal to where I can be monetized. But thank you all for joining. If you had questions and you didn't want to put them in the chat, you can put them in the chat. Like, I'm a nice person sometimes. I might be a Gemini, and I might be a hard ass, and I might be petty, and I might be stubborn, but I'm nice. I'm a nice person. Anyways, my voice is gone. I gotta go back on voice rest. Yes, let's go Pittsburgh. And thank you, Her Moments. You have a good weekend too. I'll talk to you all soon.